10 mind-blowing psychology phenomena unraveling the secrets of human behavior. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Ever find yourself wondering why we think, feel, and act the way we do? Like, why do we sometimes ignore a person in need when others are around, or why do we believe something just because it aligns with what we already think? Well, grab a seat and maybe some popcorn, because today we're diving into the wild world of psychology. In this video, we're going to explore 10 mind-blowing psychology phenomena that totally unravel the secrets of human behavior. Trust me, you won't look at yourself, or others, the same way again. So, let's jump right in and uncover what's really going on upstairs. The bystander effect. First up, let's talk about the bystander effect. Picture this. You're walking down a busy street, and you see someone who looks like they might need help. But instead of stepping in, you keep walking because, well, there are so many other people around. Surely someone else will help, right? This is exactly what the bystander effect is all about. The tendency for individuals to be less likely to help someone in need when other people are present. It all came to light after the tragic case of Kitty Genovese in 1964. She was attacked outside her apartment in New York City, and despite multiple witnesses, no one intervened in time. Psychologists Bibb Latané and John Darley were inspired to study this phenomenon. They conducted experiments where participants thought they were overhearing someone having a seizure. The results? The more people who were present, the less likely any one person was to help. So next time you're in a group and see someone who might need a hand, remember, you could be the difference maker. Let's be more aware and not just assume someone else will step up. Cognitive dissonance. Alright, moving on to something called cognitive dissonance. Sounds fancy, but it's actually something we've all experienced. It's that uncomfortable feeling you get when you hold two conflicting beliefs or when your actions don't match your values. Ever eaten junk food while trying to stick to a healthy diet? Yep, that's cognitive dissonance. Back in 1959, psychologists Leon Festinger and James Carlsmith conducted an experiment where participants did a super boring task and were then paid either $1 or $20 to tell the next person it was fun. Surprisingly, those paid $1 reported enjoying the task more than those paid $20. Why? Because they had to reconcile the trivial payment with their actions, so they convinced themselves it wasn't that bad. We deal with cognitive dissonance all the time. Maybe you bought an expensive gadget you didn't really need, and afterwards, you start finding all sorts of justifications for why it was a great purchase. It's our mind's way of keeping us sane by aligning our beliefs and actions. So, next time you catch yourself rationalizing, take a moment to reflect. It's fascinating how our minds work to keep us in balance. The placebo effect. Now, let's dive into the placebo effect. This one is all about the incredible power of belief. Essentially, it's when someone experiences a real improvement in their condition after receiving a treatment that has no therapeutic effect. Think sugar pills curing headaches. Crazy, right? In medical trials, placebos are used to test the effectiveness of new drugs. Researchers have found that patients often report improvements even when they're given a placebo, simply because they believe they're receiving actual treatment. This phenomenon highlights the strong connection between mind and body. It suggests that our expectations can significantly influence physical outcomes. So, maintaining a positive mindset might just be more powerful than we think. It's a great reminder that sometimes, believing in the possibility of improvement can be a crucial part of the healing process. The halo effect. Ever notice how we sometimes let one good quality of a person overshadow everything else? That's the halo effect in action. It's when our overall impression of someone influences how we feel and think about their character. This concept was first introduced by psychologist Edward Thorndike. He found that people tend to assume that if someone excels in one area, they're likely to be good in other areas too. For example, we might assume that a good-looking person is also friendly and intelligent. This can have significant effects in the real world, like in hiring decisions, where recruiters might favor candidates who make a strong first impression. It can also impact how teachers perceive students or how we choose friends. The takeaway here? Be mindful of snap judgments. People are multidimensional, and it's worth getting to know them beyond the first impression. Confirmation bias. Next up is confirmation bias, one of the big culprits behind stubborn arguments and echo chambers. It's our tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. For instance, If you believe a particular diet is the best, you'll likely focus on articles and stories that support that view while ignoring evidence to the contrary. This bias affects how we consume news, engage in debates, and even how we perceive others. To overcome confirmation bias, it's important to challenge ourselves by seeking out different perspectives. Ask yourself, am I considering all the information, or just what supports my view? It's not always easy, but it leads to a more balanced understanding of the world. So let's strive to keep an open mind and be willing to adjust our beliefs in light of new evidence. The Pygmalion effect. Ever had someone believe in you so much that you started to believe in yourself more? That's the magic of the Pygmalion effect. It's the phenomenon where higher expectations lead to an increase in performance. Psychologists Robert Rosenthal and Lenore Jacobson conducted a study in a school where teachers were told that certain students were predicted to be intellectual bloomers. These students were actually selected at random. But guess what? By the end of the year, those students showed significant academic improvement. The teachers' expectations influenced how they interacted with these students: more encouragement, more challenging material, and more feedback, which in turn boosted the students' performance. This shows just how powerful our expectations can be. So, whether you're a parent, teacher, manager, or friend, setting positive expectations can truly make a difference in someone's life. Let's uplift each other. Inattentional blindness. Now, this one might surprise you. Inattentional blindness is when we fail to see something that's right in front of us because our attention is engaged elsewhere. Sounds impossible, but it's more common than you think. One of the most famous demonstrations is the invisible gorilla experiment by Christopher Chabry and Daniel Simons. Participants were asked to watch a video and count how many times players in white shirts passed a basketball. Midway through, a person in a gorilla suit strolls through the scene. Half of the participants didn't notice the gorilla at all. It highlights how limited our attention can be and has important implications for things like driving safety and eyewitness accounts. Just because we look doesn't mean we see. So, it's a good reminder to be more mindful and aware of our surroundings. Who knows what we've been missing? Learned helplessness. Feeling like giving up because nothing seems to work out? You might be experiencing learned helplessness. This is when someone has endured a situation where they feel they have no control, and as a result, they stop trying, even when opportunities to improve arise. Psychologist Martin Seligman discovered this phenomenon through experiments with dogs in the 1960s. Dogs that were subjected to unavoidable shocks eventually didn't try to escape, even when they could. They had learned to be helpless. In humans, learned helplessness can contribute to feelings of depression and a lack of motivation. But here's the empowering part. By recognizing this pattern, we can take steps to regain control. It's about challenging the belief that we can't change our circumstances. If you're feeling stuck, reach out to someone you trust or a professional. Remember, you're not alone, and change is possible. The spotlight effect. Ever had a bad hair day and felt like everyone was staring? That's the spotlight effect making us think we're the center of attention more than we actually are. Thomas Gilovich and his colleagues conducted an experiment where participants had to wear an embarrassing t-shirt and then estimate how many people noticed. They overestimated by a lot. In reality, people are generally too wrapped up in their own worlds to focus on us as much as we think. Understanding the spotlight effect can be liberating. It frees us from unnecessary social anxiety and lets us be more authentic. So go ahead, dance like nobody's watching, because they probably aren't. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Last but definitely not least, we have the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is when people with low ability in a task overestimate their competence, while experts may underestimate theirs. It's like thinking you're a gourmet chef because you can make instant noodles. Psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger found that without sufficient knowledge, people lack the ability to recognize their own incompetence. On the flip side, highly competent individuals may assume that tasks that are easy for them are easy for others as well. This phenomenon emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and humility. None of us have all the answers, and that's okay. Embracing a growth mindset means we're open to learning and acknowledging where we can improve. So, let's stay curious and keep expanding our horizons. The journey of learning never really ends. And there you have it. 10 mind-blowing psychology phenomena that give us a peek into the incredible workings of the human mind. From the bystander effect reminding us to take action, to the Dunning-Kruger effect encouraging us to stay humble, there's so much we can learn about ourselves and others. I hope this exploration has been as eye-opening for you as it has been for me. Understanding these concepts isn't just interesting, it can genuinely improve our daily lives, relationships, and how we navigate the world. If any of these phenomena struck a chord with you, or if you've got stories to share, drop them in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. And hey, maybe you can teach me something new. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss out on future content. Your support means the world to me. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.